had satsang. And it was satsang, sat means truth, and sangha means in the company of it. And I have a belief no one owns truth. Truth just is omnipresent. And so it's a time of soaking in this ocean of presence. And different people were sharing their experiences and what they'd realized about the subject of abundance. And one woman, she got on stage and she said, I never believed that love existed. I thought it was just a word that everybody made up. And the sentimentalists and all the fools were the ones that made up this word, and that there was no such thing as love. I certainly had never felt it in the whole of my life. And so in her case, it was the abundance of love that was being welcomed. And when she did her process, she went inside her heart. And what she uncovered there is that her whole heart was surrounded by barbed wire. And she said the cell memory she uncovered was that her father was born on the outside of a concentration camp, and she was a German. And this abundance retreat took place in Holland. And her father was born outside the barbed wire fence of a concentration camp. And her grandfather was inside the camp doing what was done during that time. Now, like me, she was born post-World War II. And when she uncovered the memory, she found herself at her campfire saying, how could there be such a thing as love? When what went on behind those walls went on. How can love exist in a world when something like that takes place? And my father's on the outside of that barbed wire fence. Well, during the whole process, she ended up clearing all of the beliefs about love, that she didn't deserve it, that it wasn't right after what her family had been part of, and she didn't have permission to have love. And she cleared all that out, and she said, oh my God, Brandon, for the first time in my life, I actually felt there is such a thing as love, and I felt it, and it's everywhere. She said, I feel like I need to ask everyone in this room, and we were in 19 different nations. She said, I need to ask for forgiveness for this that would teach a little child like me that love doesn't exist. And so she asked forgiveness for what had happened in World War II. And a duchy, someone from Holland, jumped on stage, and she said, well, I had lost 67 of my family in the Holocaust. And she said, on behalf of my family, all forgiveness is being offered here. And then another woman from Poland, she said, she stood up and she said, I don't have permission to have abundance. As a matter of fact, I don't even have permission to feel happiness. Because you see, I was told I was born on the grave of my ancestors, and because of what they went through, happiness would never be available to me. I was not allowed to have happiness because I was born on the graves of my ancestors. Another woman from Romania, she said, well, I was told by my mother as a mantra all my life long, I'm the shit that she pooped out. How is shit allowed to let abundance flow into their life? And so everyone was just emptying out, and finally a prayer was made that we forgive all those who've gone before us for all these unhealthy lies that we've been sold about abundance. We forgive them for that. And we made a prayer that they come to find true abundance and peace and love and joy in their lives. And we cut our ties with them. And we opened and let Source go to those people and Source come back to us. And we began opening into our own abundance. And new healthy beliefs started taking place. Now it was quite a full-on satsang, and a lot more happened than that. But it's astonishing what gets passed on to us. Marco was saying to me earlier how he felt that much had been passed on through our DNA. that it was almost not just a matter of our own beliefs, but even when you are a little egg, do you know that you were in your mother as an egg while she was in the womb of her mother? So all the eggs that your mother ever would have to birth children were there in the first 6 months of her being in the womb. So already you have the consciousness of your grandmother, who has your mother in her womb, and your eggs are infused with both their consciousness. That's the very least of what's happened. And so very often the beliefs that we uncover, that we think, I don't even think this way, and you don't. You don't consciously think that way. But the consciousness is stored in our cells. It's stored in our DNA. It's what I think the Bible means when it says the sins of the father are passed on to the son. Literally, literally, that is true.